Hello, welcome. Had to come on because these energies are sensational and I wanted to give this kind of overview. I haven't been on for a while. It's been busy in my world and in the energies, and I have been, this last weekend I've been on an NLP course, and the prior weekend I spent 3 days as the second in the kitchen on a hand pan drumming retreat. So I'll speak a little bit about that in a moment. And then prior to that, I had all this going on with my car, which meant that I didn't have a vehicle and that I couldn't get to places, and I had to rearrange a whole lot of things. So a bit of disruption, and it's fine. I am pretty good at dealing with, I feel, these things that come along. They don't send me on too much of a spin or a wobble. Hi Dawn, hello Fiona. Yeah, so for me, I am feeling incredibly connected to Gaia, to the earth, to the energies. I'm feeling incredible love in my body, in my field, in my life, and a lot of excitement about what is to come. So let me just pull up my notes here. And then, oh, that's not even it. Oh, that's because, so I don't know about you, but I am, interesting. Right, just let me just focus on this for a moment. Write in the chat how you are, unless I put it over onto this here. Okay, I better just open up the program and see why I can't see the 3 or 4 pages of notes I just made. Okay, let's open up this. Let's open here. Interesting. Okay, let me press Control Z and see if it opens it, in case I deleted it by accident. Never mind. Weird. Weird technology things have been happening in my world quite consistently. So I had a day where I couldn't access a whole part of my system. I wrote something and it just disappeared. I had a system collapse, of course, earlier. My website, of course, the address has been stolen, and so that's been a bit of a drama, and still isn't quite right. But right, let me go to my desktop over here. Yes, that's right. There's a saved blank file. Okay, I'll just open up and see if I can see it here on the desktop. Right, I'll just have to close those. Not that. So it kind of is good I don't get too frustrated by it, because otherwise it would drive me nuts. But I do keep having these weird experiences. Like I just put this all together in the last 45 minutes, just copied and pasted it from a variety of places and keyed in the last few pages, and hello. And yet, let me see if I can see it in here. You know what? It isn't even here. I saved it in 2 places and it's gone. Okay. I will get my notebook back out. So I have some things here, and I have some things that I posted on Facebook. Yeah, so I went to, hold on, let me just get these other couple of bits of paper, because these were notes that I made while I was away because I had used up my notebook. Right, I'll put that there. So these are notes from the 6th of May. So this here is not that. So I might just need to go and get my other notebook. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Alrighty. Let's just start, for goodness sake. All right. So I want to say to you, I went on this hand panning drum retreat weekend to be Lottie's second person in the kitchen, because Sarah, who usually goes and does it, had broken her ankle. So that was out on the Kaipara Heads at a horse farm, and it was really incredible. So firstly, a little plug for Lottie, who runs Lottie's Soul Food Depot, and she has the most exquisite palate. She has this way of putting together flavors that create layers through the taste buds, and it always looks beautiful and tastes beautiful on top of that. So I worked in there, and so I did have a little play with the hand pan drum on the first day, and I had something else on the night before, so I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start and get out there for breakfast, or to begin preparing and organising breakfast for 7 a.m. And yeah, so hung out there, and I tell you, there's something quite sacred and quite special about being in the midst of so many conscious men. So there were between 24 and 33 people there over that time each day, and the majority of them were men, and the energy that they hold as a collective is really beautiful. It's like a softness that's held with strength. That would be the easiest way. They're so in their hearts. It's just phenomenal. And so that was just such a blessing. And then, being a part of this work that Lottie does, that was really a lovely experience as well. And I thought because, you know, I'm a little bit musical. I'm not like super musical, but I've played a few instruments in my life, and I thought that I would be able to at least play some. Well, I could, as one of the guys who was, there were two, well, there were four main teachers, I think, and there were some very accomplished musicians there, and I did manage to get a sound out of the pan, but not out of the next pan that I was given, which was a, you know, more elevated level. And I don't really care that I don't know how to play it, because I love the sound of it and I often play it to listen to. So it wasn't that, but I really had to confront myself because I felt like the slow learner in the class, and that I have to say it was a new experience for me, and I felt pushed by it. I really had to give myself a talking to, and and then to go to that. It's okay. It's like, it's a beautiful instrument. It's not my desire to master it, but I was confronted by how challenging it was. I thought it would be a really easy instrument to play. I thought that because I'd never even touched one. I thought it would be, you know, as soon as you touch the metal that you'd get a sound out of it, but you actually have to hit it with your finger in a particular sort of angle. Anyway, that was my handpan drumming experience. And then last weekend I've been to NLP training. So I've just done 2 days of that. It was an opportunity that I was given, and yeah, quite phenomenal. And so now I've learned a couple of components of that. NLP training is 18 days complete for completion of training, and so she may offer some more. And if you live in Auckland and that's something that interests you, let me know and I can put you on a list for when she might offer something again. So yeah, we did work on releasing anchors and shifting patterns. So, you know, that's a good thing to have in my belt for working with my clients. Anyway, yeah, on retreat. So I'll just get into my notes here. So my dad, who passed quite some time ago, like maybe 20 years ago, um, he he came in when I was in bed on the morning on the 10th. He came in behind me just to, yeah, and he gave me a hug and he said, I want you to know how much I love you, and what is it that you need, and know that you are protected and that all is well, which was a really nice reassurance. I haven't spoken to him for a while. There was a time, you know, when he would come and sit on my pillow in the morning when I awoke, but I hadn't really kind of spoken to him for a little while. And then grandmother Anna came in, and she was putting codes into, so grandmother Anna, if you aren't aware of her, she is the grandmother of Master Yeshua, mother of Mother Mary. And yes, so she came in. I often speak to her. She often comes in for guidance. I call her my CEO. She can be soft and grandmotherly, and she can be instructional and precise. And she comes in and gives me strong direction if she feels that I've got a little bit off track with not you know, with things that I'm doing, not behavioural things, but engagement in particular events or whatever. So yeah, so she is the person who came in and told me that I was that there'd been a reset and a redirect for me, and that I wasn't to be going on the dolphin trip, that the dolphin trip would be a success for Rebecca and it would occur without me, and that I was to redirect my energies into this new set of energies. And so I haven't got the whole deal on that yet, but I have got some of it. And then she was recoding. So on the first day on retreat, she was recoding my spine, putting strengthening codes on my masculine side. So that was to bring me this energetic of, and I suspect that some of you have got this as well, this energetic on the masculine side to sort of come into this alignment of just taking a bit more action, not just being in this creative mode of my aspirations, my desires, my fulfillment, but to be taking steps and taking action. Yeah, so that I think is from that date. And then I didn't write the following day. It was pretty busy. Not like me to not write at all, but I am giving myself permission to not be so driven about things and to be more driven in other ways. Like I've really started framing up some courses that I'm going to run and some events that I'm going to do. So I'll be asking for your help if I'm coming to your region. But I really had, over the weekend, I was doing some organisation in my NLP sessions about that I'm going to do 4 events next year in New Zealand around the country. And so I've got no further than that, but that's like an introduction to Gaia. I'm doing a public event next Thursday evening at the EES Centre in Mount Wellington. And that will be my first kind of step into a greater public space, I guess. And I did run a guided meditation with the people at the Hand Panning Festival as well. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about me and what's been going on for me. So yeah, felt totally shattered. We worked long days and there was lots of jamming well into the morning, and so sleep was a little bit hard to come by, and I don't know that I've entirely caught up on sleep, but I'm getting there. So yeah, on Monday, May the 12th, the Earth's Taurus showed up to me as this very strong, energetic, crystalline feature. And it was showing up as this very white, crystalline Taurus. And Gaia was kind of, so I could see this externally of the Earth. And then when I dived in to be with her, she's in the center of the Earth and she's playing with it, just like a child would with the water coming out of the faucet. So she's like doing this to it as it's moving through. And so this was this crystalline, it was this building and continues to build Taurus flow around the planet. And she said there is a lot of freedom coming in with this energy, and transcendental takes on a new level of activation. Keep coming into center, keep coming into balance, and sit there. Okay, so alignment, center, balance, sit there, sit here in this space, in here, in the heart. Allow yourself to be moved. Don't you do it. Don't force anything here. Just be like sitting back, sitting more deeply, sitting more down in the energies, this deep sitting in them, and allow the energies to move you. Don't try and forecast it or predict it. And then on the 13th, my higher heart and throat, this is what I wrote. It's fairly strange languaging, but I write what comes. Feel as though they are struggling to find one another. I feel teary, choking, and expanded all in the same moment of experience. So it was kind of strange to have all of these things happening at once, but it's settled by the next day. So I think how I would read that is that we were having this alignment coming in for us to be able to speak truth. So, the throat is the speaking aspect. The higher heart is the mission and purpose aspect, this higher frequency, and then the heart with the toroidal field. Yeah, and then on the following morning there was more. So on the 14th there was this creaking kind of expansion through these bones, through the collarbone's feeling really tender. And what I got around it, which is interesting, is that ancestral DNA was being released, expanding this and activating mission codes. And that was for all of us. So, we all get it in different orders. So if you haven't got it, you might get it shortly, or you might have got it earlier than that. And I was feeling like my heart was really stretched open. And it's like, I'm pretty sure since then, it's just got more and more. It's like, I just feel so much love. And I feel like I'm bathing, I'm basking in this incredible love-filled, loving energy. And the ocean was shimmering like lyrics. Today I posted some imagery that was just taken today, but I started to notice that on the ocean back then on 14th. And then an incredible stillness permeates the day. The clouds hang motionless. The moon is still present in the sky. That was around midday. And the sun warming our back, Father Sun, all contains in the still life landscape of this day. And that is how it looked, and that is how it remained for most of the day, as though it was the clouds. Even the clouds, I watched the clouds, they didn't move. I'm not saying they hadn't moved by the end of the day, but I couldn't perceive them moving. And when I looked back several hours later, they still were the same shape, and they still looked as though they were in the same place. So that's why I wrote, all is contained in the still life landscape of this day. Allow yourself time for pause, for breath, long and gentle. Our integration continues. For those who lead the way, give yourself permission to just be. You are becoming the biggest, highest, most expanded version of self, of the you embodied, is how you impact yourself for ascension and for consciousness, and also humanity and the planet. So we as humanity are finding our way entangled in this new quantum arrangement, which we are each learning about and how to navigate it, because we've never been in it before. In fact, I have said this, but I just want to reiterate that we're in energies that have never been to the planet before. We are in this kind of energetic beginning of propulsion, if you like, of ascension that impacts the universe. And it's important to humanity, it's important to Gaia, it's important to this constellation, it's important to this entire multiverse. So our nervous system and our fascia is walking hand in hand with the mycelium of Gaia's living, breathing presence, and sits with us in the symbiotic arrangement and exchange. This beginning recognition for many, not likely here, but for many, in this recognition that the earth is a living, breathing, sentient being. And when I first started working with Gaia, and I asked her, well, what is the purpose of this? What am I supposed to be doing here? And she said, well, one of the things that you are doing here is you are creating messages so that humanity can recognize that the planet is a living, breathing, sentient being. So be still and know that all is well. Be still and know that your God, source, essence is returning to you, to its fullness. Being in it is the journey. I thought this was profound. Returning home to self is the work, and the stillness of your own inner sacred flame is the destination. And then on the 19th, today brings feelings of harmony, of sliding into home plate with ease. Earth is starting to hum differently, and you may be feeling that as well. Our new songs are forming quietly in the background. That's how it showed up to me, as though I could hear the horizon starting to make a sound and that it was coming closer to me. Our own, as well as Gaia's, like the distant beat of hooves on the ground as the herd gathers for a new season. We will soon access detailed and higher frequency systems of words, of codes, of mathematics that make higher conscious life evolve on the earth. In terms of our transfer of information, we're becoming more telepathic. Our communication through the crystals, as the crystals within us and the crystals within the inner earth, which are these giant geodes, are strongly activated. So they've gone through several activations and they are being more strongly activated now. And this will be like they will sound out through the universe, and it will get louder and more refined, and this will be like the entire universe will respond. And some of that will be other beings from other planets who are around us, and those who are not as well. But it is this that will like sound the frequency, the resonance of Earth having risen. I don't know about you, but I feel that so deeply within me. So we are adulting now. The first wave is we're becoming adults in the universe now. A lot of you, a lot of us, we come from higher dimensional spaces. This ascension is something that we have done in a dimensional way, but not through the physical form, not without dying. And we come from places and planets where people live eternally, and it's not that we are unevolved. It's that we have come here to assist this planet in its return, because this planet is so precious in the universe. And so that's why, when I hear other people saying that, and I think, yeah, these sort of quintessential things that Gaia has gifted to us over this time. Like, I have been writing information from her since, I think, 2014. I wrote for an entire year before I shared anything. And when I have asked her, why, what is this purpose? It's because humanity has to recognize that the planet is a sentient being, and because the planet is the living library of the universe, the crown jewel in our planetary galaxy, and that we will, we're on our return to that, into that being the interdimensional destination place where beings from around the universe, around the multiverse, will come to gather and to not just to gather and meet, but to gather things, to gather DNA, because we are returning to being this living library in the galaxy. And so in the earth there are these huge crystal geodes, and I remember a long time ago I was shown that they would be activated, and they've been going through this process of activation. And as we begin to develop mastery now, or to return to our mastery, but mastery at working with the quantum field is what our expertise will be, as we become the masters of creating our own reality in our evolution of conscious change. And we will more easily perceive the Taurus, the Merkaba, the flower of life, the rod and staff, and the Akashic records. So, this working more with telepathy, and then being able to access those sort of quantum aspects. Yeah, and that song that Bob Dylan sings, because the times are changing, that is what came to me while I was lying in bed this morning, but it came with the words change to, and the world, it is a changing. So we are building to a crescendo. Allow yourself to surrender, and then allow yourself to surrender some more, as any of the residue still needing to be released arises for purification, for transmutation, and it will now show itself. And will show itself in a sensory way. You don't have to be in your head with it. You just attend to it by noticing where you might be feeling heat or contraction or tingling or tightness in your body somewhere, and then you can be in dialogue with that. Put your hand on it, invite it to share with you what it is wanting to say, or to share the energy of it. So maybe the temperature, maybe the color, maybe how dense it is, maybe if it has a message or some words, maybe it will have it might have a song or a frequency that you can feel, or it might have a message that comes in a telepathic way. And yeah, just be in dialogue with that, and speak to it about how you feel that you'd like for it to be shifted, and ask, does it have a message before you do that, and then ask it to move out. Ask what it needs. So it might be that you don't move it out. It might be that you give it what it needs, and then it morphs, or it gets absorbed into you in a more cellular way. Yeah. Any questions? Anybody got any questions they want to throw in here? Hello, Amanda. Hello. Hello, Annika. Hello, Larissa. Hello, Debbie. Aloha, sweet Cece. What's been happening in your worlds? I've got my head around the back of my laptop so I can see on this big screen. No questions. Well, I send you lots of love and big hugs. We probably need lots of hugs at the moment. So if you don't have anyone who gives you hugs, give yourself hugs. There's this beautiful soothing of doing this, and if you do EFT work, then this can often be some sort of anchoring in as part of the process of running the energies and changing the patterns and here. So if you want to anchor in something new and you don't know the entire process, then you can be tapping on your head as well. Yeah, it is. It really is, sweet Cece. It's just such a lot. So, we've got weather changes. We've got somebody sent an image and said to me, Sharon, what do you think this is? And it's like a space in the sky. It's like a part of an archway, and it has a lot of symmetry, to it, and it's in the sky, like drawn in blue lines. and and it's like that. It's like an interesting shape portal and through to another dimension. There's this kind of idea, and for me anyway, that we're in the dissolution of the lower, and that it might show up in weird, wacky ways for people who don't have higher perception to be showing it. The birds are doing interesting things. There are moments when my garden is full of birds, and then there are moments when there's not one to be seen. Time is having major glitches because essentially time as we know it according to the clock is dissolving. Time glitches are massive, and I don't know if you want to share any of those that have been happening to you, but I'm constantly in check with what day it is, what time it is, what month it is, not for myself, but for my appointments. I need to make sure that I'm there and available and doing the right thing at the right time. And I'm very aware of those sorts of glitches. The new children who are coming to our earth are coming with these new crystalline key codes. They'll be bringing in they'll be programming in the new ways, and so there's a lot of collapse through the revealing, really. So a lot of things that sit in our earth that are part of our belief structure, they'll be showing up to be faulty, and that will be shown in a visionary, in the visions, in the physical sighting of or camera shots. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, so now that Michelle is here, I'll just mention that's a little, I see, Lottie. Finally, some internet connection. Yeah, so internet's been in and out. I believe that we will probably have a bit more of that. These energies that are being emitted from the sun, they're powerful, they're strong. Like I said, they haven't been to the planet before, so they will impact our technology. Where I believe that the whole Spain-Portugal thing is likely to do with emissions from the sun, but there's all sorts of fun and games going on, so it's a bit hit and miss. It's a bit of a pick and mix as to whether it's the dark being revealed or the old systems being collapsed or the new breaking through, and we'll just have to be in perception of that through our emotional body. Does it feel right? And there's just times when it just doesn't really matter. That's how I feel. I don't feel personally that I have to dive into everything and know, is it true? But I can sit in if I need to know, then I can ask, is this true? Or is this true right now? Or is this true for me? And so I just encourage you to do that. Those two precepts or constructs that Gaia has spoken about for humanity's big shift is give up the need to know and give up the need to be right. So it's an opportunity to be in practice with some of those. Right, so Michelle, so yes, so that's I wanted to come back to, so Michelle Boyle, she is working with some of the new healing technologies, and so is the EES Centre in Matarua Road in Mount Wellington. So if those are things that interest you, then you can look them up. And Michelle is in Whangarei in the north of New Zealand. Larissa has now had her 6-month check. I'm good. Big endings here. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. That is fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, so Larissa has been on a really big healing journey in Romania. Yeah, good. Oh, that's so fantastic. Sweet CC is saying fascia still stuck, left foot, but I do feel the feminine waking up inside of me. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how we have this kind of unwinding and this moving up, and then something else comes through, and we are in the balancing of the masculine and the feminine, that's for sure. And we're, there's this kind of weird notion as well that you would have heard me speak of it, that the fractalizing. So you might be doing that on behalf of humanity. Other people are doing other things on behalf of humanity. That's how I've been shown this as well. There's so many components to it. If you can imagine that I have written a paragraph every day, or between a paragraph and a couple of pages every day for 11 years, then you'll understand how much information I have. And how now it's dropping into the physical. But we're doing this, I believe, in this fractalized way. So as you are coming into balance with that, you might be doing that on behalf of humanity, or on behalf of a section of humanity. And Larissa has been working through her cancer, and has now cleared that, and so she has been doing that on behalf of another fractal, another group, and I feel that this is the way that we've been enlisted, if you like, to change things, so that each of us may be doing something like that in the physical sense on behalf of humanity. Yeah, I'm so happy for you, Larissa. Yeah, the fascia in the left foot. Yeah, it's funny, I felt energy in my left heel today. Oh no, my right heel. And I've been having a lot of energy because I sprained both of my ankles last October, or the last day of September. I sprained both of my ankles, and I've just kind of worked through that. But today I noticed that my right heel was sore. Can't think of any logical reason why it would be. And I've been working through all of this left shoulder injury, nearly done. Yeah, I feel I've got this eye, this puffy eye. But other than that, I feel so it's like a little bit. I have to keep doing that to see properly. But yeah, I feel really relaxed. I feel in a really great, amazing space. Yeah, so definitely, sweet CC makes sense, as I always feel we counterpart each other. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so I feel like we are on the edge of this wave that is already in motion, and that we are about to kind of crash over into our fifth dimensional frequency, into our fifth dimensional experience. And so we, play with it, I want to say, practice this mastery of creation. But I want to say that this is my, I want to say instruction, but I don't mean that you have to do it. But this is what I've been shown. So it doesn't mean it's the only way. It won't be the only way, but I'll share with you what I've been shown. And I would say that I'm not a master manifester, but I would say I'm improving at it. And it's this idea of that in front of you is what you can call, I place it as a basket, a creation basket, and I put in there what it is that I want to have come in now. And so it can have nouns and it can have adjectives, and you can just place those in as words, or you can describe it as you're placing it in, and then you can activate it with emotions. And so that's not words, that's the feeling. So then you get into this feeling of seeing it, of conjuring it up, of looking at the colors, and in your mind you're feeling into it, and you're feeling the love that's in it. You're feeling the excitement of it having arrived. And so that fulfillment, you're in the emotional excitement of that creation basket being fulfilled. It has occurred. You are in it now. And that's what I want to say is the recipe for creation in this new time, because things are happening like that. Oh yeah, Charlotte's just saying that the evening concerts that we experienced at the hand panning were great for integration of the divine feminine and divine masculine. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, I guess I'll leave it there. That's certainly long enough. And yeah, I send you so much love from my heart, which is full and open and overflowing and in connection with Gaia and our planetary ascension. We are, I want to say that you can view it, if I haven't said this already, how I'm seeing it is that you can see we're in this sort of long exposure of film, a long exposure of ascension that's held open. It's like the flash, it's long, and then within it are all of these shorter ones. And then ultimately there'll be one that makes the tipping point for humanity to have ascension, which then will occur in hand with the planetary ascension. And then we'll get to a point, I've always been told, that we will have connection with off planet, with other planetary species, only when humanity is ready, because we have to be doing that with peace and in peace. So we can't have people getting their AK-47s out to greet the Pleiadians, can we? No. So we have to have enough love, enough peace, enough harmony here that we can be in the excitement of meeting our intergalactic family, brothers and sisters. And so that's kind of our role, I feel. We're breaking things down, we're creating the new, we're holding space for others to do the same. The ink on wet blotting paper effect. It can, as it moves further, it gains momentum, it accelerates in its speed. Alrighty, so much love, and I will see you again soon. You're welcome. Much love.